Hey guys, this is an exposure test on the ZV-E1. I wanted to test, this is on S-Cinetone, if I go overexposed or underexposed by using the light, how much of a difference that will make on the quality of the image. Because as you know, it's all about lighting. Like you can take the camera, right, like the ZV-E10, and this thing will look like a beast as long as you have the right lighting, right? As long as you have a good lighting, the APS-C with the Sigma lenses, the primes, or you got some good 2.8 zooms. They'll look amazing on here, but the 1.4 primes really is what makes the ZV-E10 shine. As long as you got great lighting, that's what matters. So as of right now, we're showing a +1 exposure on here, and I mean it looks good to the eye. There's a few zebras in the back, but what do you think? Okay, this is +1 exposure. Now we're gonna raise the lights and overexpose even more just to see what it looks like, if that would be better, because generally they say exposure, leave it at 0, but it all depends what you're using it for, right? So for Talking Heads video, is exact exposure always what you want? Sometimes you might want dark, sometimes you might want it brighter, right? And not have to adjust it more in post and add the digitalization, and do it that way, but to just have it more straight out of camera, and that's what I'm looking for. So there's a lot less processing, just kind of the quicker workflow, right? That's what I'm all about. So let's raise this exposure up a little more by just raising the lights, right? I'm leaving this on 1.8 on my Zeiss 55 millimeter lens, and we're going to just raise the exposure up and see what it looks like. Okay guys, now I'm really overexposed here. I'm at least a couple stops overexposed. I just cranked the lights up to the Godox 60 light. I got like $100, I think, off Amazon, and a little square light, it's kind of like a key light over there. I got for like $20 or less on Amazon. Anyway, I got them cranked up now to about 90-ish to 100%, somewhere in there between the two. But this is way overexposed. But how does that look, right? I'm not going to play with this in post. I'm going to put it on here just as it is. So these are two lights, one big one to the right, one to the left, smaller one, and that is what we have. Now this is overexposure central, but does it still look good? Will it still work? Zebras all over the place. On my head right here and behind me right here. This is saying this is all overexposed, and then this little spot here. This is saying that that's overexposed. So is that unusable? Is 1.5, 2 stops overexposure too much? I mean, I'm pretty sure you could drop this down and look fine. I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. But what do you think? Okay, this is way overexposed. This is almost 2 stops overexposed here. So we're going to start dropping the lights down now and to proper exposure, but see if it's going to work for you, depending on what you want. Some people like it lit, some people like it bright, some people like it so you can see everything, and it's more like you're sitting with somebody, in the daytime, and you got light all around. As long as it's not so overexposed, there's like big old highlight bumps on your head. But all right, let's go ahead and drop that down and see what we got. Okay, guys, so as far as my face goes, I'm probably slightly underexposed, maybe exposed correctly. It's right on the edge there. But the background right here and right here are overexposed with the zebras anyway. According to what I see on the screen, it looks like I'm a little underexposed face-wise. That's what it looks like to me. But how does this look on YouTube, right? Compared to the first one, which was just slightly overexposed, right? Just slightly. The second one, which was way overexposed, and this one, which was a little underexposed. All right, how does that look? But again, like the lights behind me are zebra'd right here and right here. All right, now we're going to go more underexposed, and we're just going to check that out and just to see what that looks like. All right, guys, now this is underexposed, definitely by a full stop. Got the lights down to about 20% now, so they're a little lower, and probably as low as I want to go before it's going to look shady. But how does this look, right, compared to the last one? I can go one under one. I'll go one more. I'll drop the lights down. Cause I got a third light still, like a lamp over in the corner. I'll turn that off, and that'll really drop things down here, and we'll look at that. But this is underexposed. But how's this looking? Check it out. There you go, guys. Now it's just the two lights, the 20%, and I am underexposed for sure. There's only one little spot with zebras, right? And that is right there. So that's probably not a big deal. But it's kind of, it shows zebras in the background, even though you want it to do your face, right? But it shows you the parts of the highlights that are clipped, that are clipping slightly. But my face is underexposed. But, it's something I could fix in post. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in post now. And I'm going to adjust it to see if there's really a lot of difference. So if you underexpose or overexpose a little bit in acetone on the ZV-E1, if you adjust it, if it's fine, right? Because you can underexpose a little bit, say, darn, it doesn't look good. Just adjust a little bit, boom, if you have to. But if you don't, which is the best exposure, right? Going a little over or going a little under. Let's take a look. Let's put it in post, and we'll recap that at the end. All right, cool beans. All right, guys, now you can see this is that same video you just saw, but now the exposure is raised up. And as you can see, it looks great. So it really goes to show that you can be a little over and underexposed and still adjust it in post without any problem if you're recording in 10-bit. Okay, and that goes for the APS-C cameras. Same thing. That you'd be able to color grade a little bit, raise the exposure up. So that works great. So I'm very happy with that. So now let's go ahead and look at them side by side. Okay, so the one on the left is obviously darker. The one on the right is the one that's fixed. As you can see, they both look good. One thing I noticed that is if you underexpose it a little bit, it looks a little more cinematic, right? If you overexpose it, it looks a little more lively. Like you're in the scene a little more. So it all depends on what you're going for. And, one stop up or down is totally fixable. And then you can adjust it however you like. So sometimes I get wrapped up in, oh man, is it perfectly exposed? Like if it's in a YouTube setup like this, it doesn't have to be. So let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thank you.